Welcome to Rory's Wanderlust podcast, where adventure meets the open road. I'm Rory, your guide to the world's most breathtaking destinations, hidden gems, and epic motorcycle journeys. Whether you're a globetrotter, a thriller seeker, or just dreaming of your next escape, you're in the right place. The purpose of Rory's Wanderlust Travel podcast is to share my personal travel experiences with both the thrilling adventures and the unexpected moments along the way. Through my stories, I hope to inspire you to step out of your comfort zone, embrace the unknown, and see the world for yourself. Whether it's by motorcycle, plane, or on foot, there's a whole world out there waiting to be explored. So let's welcome to Rory's Tales from the Road, Episode 1. I've had it all, the nice house, the nice cars, the boat, and so many other things. But these things did not make me happy. I felt stagnant many times. They were just items. You cannot take any of these things to the grave with you. So let's talk about relationships. I feel like I just been a failure in one way or another, but mostly because I had a hard time staying still in one place. My entire life, I have known to move around, so when I retired, trying to be in one place for long periods of time was just not me. That's why I love the military. I was always doing something crazy, but it became a craving for me, but more like an addiction of sorts. To this day, I have the craving to go to new places and venture to new horizons every 2 or 3 months. I'm not sure if this will ever change, as I feel I need to live this lifestyle in my soul. Yes, many have questioned my intentions if I'm running from something or myself, but honestly, it just makes me happy. So I ask myself, what makes me happy? The question will be different for everyone and the answer as well, but for me, experiences, the excitement of new smells, sounds, and adventures. I think I just get bored and have a hard time just sitting still. Of course, when I started this journey, I had no idea what I was doing. I made mistakes in pretty much everything I did at first. I'm about to tell you about my first long trip outside of the U.S. alone. I was in a very dark place. I had gotten wounded in Iraq, and I was dealing with issues with surgeries around it. I was in a terrible relationship and honestly was looking for an escape. I had been to Mexico many times, so I found a one-way ticket, packed my bag, and left. My first mistake was going to Mexico. I had just had back surgery and a hysterectomy, and I was still on strong painkillers. Still, at this time in my life, I was still trying to use the pain meds to numb emotional and the physical pain. Mexico is a haven for those who use medication for medical and non-medical uses. I flew into Cancun and I took a bus out to Playa del Carmen. The bus from Cancun Airport to Playa del Carmen is about 2 hours. This depends on the number of people that need to be dropped off. Patience is the key when you're taking any form of public transportation. It is a place where a lot of tourists go, long-term travelers. I get to my hotel and they don't even have a room for me. So I'm on Airbnb, frantically searching for a place, and I scored one. Thank goodness, because I did not want to be homeless in Mexico. Nowadays, this wouldn't have bothered me, but back then I was just learning how to full-time travel. So I found this cute little hacienda, which was listed on Airbnb, and it was just so cute. This house divides down the middle with 2 separate staircases. I had the use of a small kitchen, my own room, and bathroom. The owners were interior designers and they had so much energy. But I needed to back up a little bit. I had to take a cab from the hotel to the Airbnb and I left my phone in the cab. This was my first mistake. It was a very stupid thing to do. I did not have enough money to even buy a new phone at the time until I got paid again. My second mistake was when I decided to leave the house, the Airbnb house, I forgot to write down the address. So let's just say I made a few mistakes in the beginning of my travel journey. This is an example of how dependent we have become on technology. I walked for hours. I think I found every strip club in Playa del Carmen, and this was just in the middle of the night. I didn't get mugged or harassed at all. I felt safe. I stopped and had tacos and beer even. When I remembered to pass an AutoZone when I left, I stopped and asked where the AutoZone was, and I was back at my spot. My advice is to always remember the little details and do not panic, because these things do work themselves out. But Mexico was not a healthy choice for me. I could walk into any pharmacy and get whatever I wanted. So many of the medications would be listed in the window, and you just walk in, you ask for it, you purchase it, and you went on your merry way. I was mixing Ambien and pain medicine, and this was not a good combination by any means. One night I was so high I cut my hair. I honestly don't remember doing it. I still laugh about it. I think to myself, I always look better with shorter hair. And probably in my mind at the time I was like, oh, this hair is very hot. Let's just cut it off. So that's why I probably did it. Most of the people go to Playa del Carmen for the beach and the walking avenue. I did think the beach was alright, but it was not a wow me beach. I've seen better beaches. I went back home and lasted only like 10 days, and there was no salvaging the relationship. This man I escaped from was the same man I came back to, so I left for good. I have not been back since. I literally walked with a backpack and a small suitcase. One night I looked for a cheap one-way ticket to anywhere, and I found one to Bangkok. That was $300. This was a great deal, and this would change my life forever, and I didn't know this at the time, but it would make my life so much better. And then the COVID pandemic was becoming a real thing at the time. The first 2 days I stayed in Bangkok, I knew quickly I did not want to be there long. The city of Bangkok is such a crazy busy city, and being there for the first time, it was very overwhelming to me. I did the tourist thing, seeing the golden Buddhas, the shrines, one of the most amazing, yet less known ways to explore Thailand is by the train. Thailand Railways connects Bangkok to the northern part of Thailand, which is Chiang Mai. The train journey from Chiang Mai to Bangkok is no doubt well-known, trodden one, filled with plenty of temples, ruins, and this journey will make Indiana Jones and you scream with joy. I arranged for the ticket to Chiang Mai. This was an endeavor in itself. I had to find a tourist shop, buy the ticket the day before, not knowing anything about Asia and how things worked. I thought going by tuk-tuk would be the best. It's like a motorbike with a box on it. I was unaware of the fact that the drivers of the tuk-tuks will rip you off any way they can. So the driver got lost, and even though I had asked the cost beforehand and the final price, we finally found the place, zipping in and out of alleyways. We get to the place and he is like, that'll be 1,000 baht, please. And that was more than double the agreed upon amount. A few things you need to keep in mind are that you're in a foreign country and the countries you visit have their own way of doing things. I paid for it because there are some things you will not win at, and I felt this one was one of them. This was a very expensive lesson learned, and I have not made the mistake again since. There were talks about Thailand shutting their borders due to COVID, and I did not want to be in a larger city because the lockdowns would be more severe. The train ride was long, hot, and not comfortable. The train from Bangkok to Chiang Mai is about 15 hours. The train will stop at many towns along the way, and often is not on time. There is your time, and then there is Thai time. I need to provide some history behind Chiang Mai so you can grasp the importance of Chiang Mai. King Mongol was a powerful leader who gathered the migrating Thai from Yangon into the first real kingdom of the region. Chiang Mai, meaning new city, became its center. The old town that we love and admire today was laid out as a square mile according to the cardinal points, and the audacity began in 1296 with the digging of the moat and construction of the city walls that partly still stand today, surviving and thriving through the glorious and sometimes tremendous reigns of fortunes. Chiang Mai has been one of Thailand's true cultural and historic treasures. The Ping Valley was large enough for the widespread rice cultivation, and the mountains provided an excellent defense against invaders. Tradesmen and craftsmen were attracted and impressed by the temples built, and the city flourished for centuries through its zenith under the King Tarik in the 16th century. It was at that time that he, towering 96 meters pagoda of Wat Kaching Royal Pagoda Temple was erected, only to be fell to the half the height in 1545 due to an earthquake. Other temples, such as the Wat Chang Mon and the Wat Phra Singh, date to the 14th century and contain valuable ancient Buddhism cultures for Laos and Burmese or Shan influences that can be seen in the ancient architecture itself. Even the famed Emerald Buddha, Thailand's national heirloom, once resided in the city of Chiang Mai. As the kingdoms to the south, Suzuki and Ottawa to the province of Lanna's influence was trumped through the kingdom, did manage to retain anatomy right up to the early 20th century when it was absorbed into the modern democratic monarchy of Siam. However, during the Middle Ages, the city fell on hard times. It was under Burmese control for 200 years, and at one point being almost entirely empty of people. When the Siamese regrouped after Ayutthaya had been sacked by their bitter rivals from Burma, a modern state was re-established in Bangkok, and Northern General Kayak was sent to liberate Chiang Mai so that it came back to the Thai control at the end of the 1700s. The city walls and the moat were restored in 1801, and the foreigners soon made their first appearances. In fact, explorer Ralph Finch recorded his voyages 1580s that visited a fair and prosperous town called Jami, and by the 1600s, British traders, pioneers arrived. But it was not until the 1800s when teak traders from Burma regularly visit Chiang Mai, established a Sino community in the city, and ethnic heritage center was been passed down to the day, and the area around Yarra Market forming Chinatown. So Chinatown in Chiang Mai is it's like a wet market because these markets are just wide open. They sell everything all together. There's meat, produce, clothes, bags, anything you could probably think of is in this market itself. A lot of times they're like in floored tower buildings, and it's not very organized either. So, I mean, I go to the wet market sometimes to buy specific things, but I don't go there to do my shopping because the meat just kind of just sets out and the flies are on it and I don't want to get sick. So at the same time as Chinatown or the Wyatt Market was being formed, Chiang Mai was a very arduous trip by river or skiff or by elephant. When the railroad line arrived in 1920, along with the telegraph, the city's isolation came to an end, and soon by 1932 it had become a province of Siam, later Thailand. It is today the second largest of Thailand's cities by population and commerce industries, with ancient and contemporary skills and the styles on display at the Banta and Boris craftsman villages. The items were here and exported from around the world. So there are many little villages outside of Chiang Mai itself. I don't live in the center of Chiang Mai. I actually live in a place called San Sai. It's like a suburb, but it's on the very outskirts of Chiang Mai. But within Chiang Mai and on the outskirts of Chiang Mai are these little villages, and they're very native villages. And oftentimes you can go there and buy traditional Thai things, which is cool. I do buy quite a few things to send back for gifts, and my people like them, so it's always a good thing. So, the last of the northern royals are still alive today, and the last Chiang Mai's king daughter became a favorite consort to King Trumpa in 1900. Today, Dara Rosa legacy of the Logan farming and northern tradition are common in Chiang Mai. Importantly, the city and its people preserve their Lana heritage, speaking in their own dialect, dressing in local costumes on Fridays, and upholding unique ceremonies of which Ying Ping and the launching of lanterns of Lord Coin and the best loved festivals. Okay, there's Lokong, where they release the festivals in honor of the dead, and then there's Songkram, where it's basically just a huge water fight. You're riding on your your motorbike and you're getting sprayed from all directions by people. This is like a 3-day event, so if you don't want to get wet, don't go to town during this period because it's actually coming up here in 10 days, and I will be in Phuket and it will just be nuts. But I will bring you along for that too. During the 12th century, it was agriculture sustained the city, mainly rice, fruit, and mainly leches and logons, as well as teak. Logging was phased out in the 1980s by a political situation settled down, enabling tourism to thrive. By the turn of the century, first the cheap digs of truck and backpackers, Chiang Mai has since evolved into a boutique, guest house, and coffee shop capital of traffic, malls, and billboards. Yet, a short drive out of the city, its timeless nature and mountainous northern mountains, and all sorts of soft adventure activities that is offered. Both travel and leisure and Condé Nast magazines have rated Chiang Mai as one of the top worldwide destinations from their reader polls in recent years. I spent 8 months the first time I was in Chiang Mai, and in my next episode, I will go into details about the lockdown, the new friends I made, and how I passed the time in a new country during lockdown. Thank you for tuning into Rory's Tales from the Road, and I hope you've enjoyed this first podcast. I will be producing one every week, so if you can give me a like and a follow, I would greatly appreciate it.